Hello, YouTube and X. It's your main man, BTM here, bringing you back to the BTM Crypto News Network. So, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think, and sorry, just making an update real quick. But yeah, XRP is set to explode. The ETF inflows have hit 25.8 million. Let me know, do you think we are about to go all the way live? Japanese bank rumors and a $4 breakout is coming. So let me know what you guys think, right? We went from, what was it? Going down, going to zero, possibly going to 50 cents, 70 cents, down to $1, and then going down to, what do they say? $2. And now the tables have turned, and all these guys are talking about is how high can it go this year. So let me know, because there's like some slight confusion going on, right? These guys are saying, I told you not to listen to these updates, right? These guys are running crazy with pricing and updates and everything else. And I can't remember. I got a cold, so kind of scratchy throat a little bit, but I can't remember, right? These guys were saying, everybody was saying XRP is over. XRP won't be used in the XRPL or the RLUSD doesn't use XRP. And I told you guys, people don't know what they're talking about. Nobody does their research. People just get on Twitter and start going on all kind of weird rants and issues because they missed out. They want you to miss out, even though they don't even know what they're freaking talking about. Nobody looks up anything in crypto. Everybody runs to X, starts making all these weird claims and updates, and then starts trying to explain to you why things doesn't matter, why the price is going down. And what would be the actual full price. But let's look at a few shorts real quick. Let me turn on the spotlight and see what we can see. Checking on some tea. I got some tea brewing in there, so just checking on it. It went quiet. But let's run these updates real quick, and then we'll get back over to the live stream. So thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit your main man up with a super chat, guys. I'm just trying to keep the lights on here, and it's getting pretty dim, right? The lights are getting crazy. Things are going out of control. I don't remember when the last time I have a super chat. I don't even know if the super chat is even working. I haven't used it in so long.
And he's saying that the crypto winter's over. He's calling. Well, just listen.
Bitcoin price end of 2026?
I think it's well past all-time highs. So I think somewhere between 150,000 and 250,000.
Ethereum price end of 2026?
Even better. So I think Ethereum, because I do think crypto winter's over, somewhere between maybe 9,000 to 12,000.
Okay, if that happens, write it down. You're talking $10 to $20 XRP. Okay, in this clip right here, we've got Tom Lee, and he's saying that the crypto winter's over. He's calling. Well, just listen.
Bitcoin price end of 2026?
I think it's well past all-time highs. So I think somewhere between 150,000 and 250,000.
Ethereum.
So shout out to Digital asset. So that's digital asset. Interesting. Keeping it moving. This is Discovery Crypto. XRP was below a penny at one point.
ETH for $1. And he thought there was less than a 1% chance that ETH would ever hit over 2K. He said he would never have sold if that was the case. Someone would then follow up, but okay, so you sold your ETH, but you're not selling your XRP, right? He stated, well, I actually don't even have that much left anymore. And he says that he sold it because he had so much Ripple stock. Should he have held on? The guy who invented the XRP ledger admits selling most of his XRP. We're talking about former Chief Technical Officer David Schwartz. And he sold 26 million XRP for Bitcoin, but that was back when XRP was only 10 cents. Now, the last time XRP traded for under 10 cents was all the way back in 2017. And if you're wondering, Bitcoin was trading for around $2,000 at that time. And we found out from this thread right here where he was mentioning he sold his ETH for $1. And he thought there was less than a 1% chance that ETH would ever hit over 2K. He said he would never have sold if that was the case. Someone would then follow up, but okay, so you sold your ETH, but you're not selling your XRP, right? He stated, well, I actually don't even have that much left anymore. And he says that he sold it because he had so much Ripple stock. Should he have held on? The guy who invented.
And this is the guy you're listening to. The guy that sold his ETH at $1 and sold his XRP, talking about XRP won't go, what do you say, won't go over $60 or something? $65? And this was the guy you're listening to? Okay, he might be technically smart, but investing, this guy does not know what he's doing. Just throwing that out there. This is XRP US stockpile. Shout out to digital assets.
This is extremely significant. If you've noticed, ever since Trump tweeted about XRP being in a digital asset stockpile, all of a sudden everybody freaked out. And I believe there's a reason for that. All the Bitcoin lobby jumped down the White House's throat. And so they've kept it quiet. And when they go out in the media, they only talk about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Well, that changed yesterday. Here's Patrick Witt.
So when it comes to the current administration, what's the thinking when it comes to Bitcoin in terms of a strategic asset?
Well, we talked about it a little bit out in Las Vegas. We will be making an announcement around the strategic Bitcoin reserve, digital asset stockpile in the coming weeks. Obviously,
that's all you need to hear. When you hear digital asset stockpile, think XRP stockpile. This is extremely significant. If you've noticed, ever since Trump tweeted about XRP being in a digital asset stockpile, all of a sudden everybody freaked out.
So shout out to digital asset investors. So thanks for that update. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And where's everybody at? Where you guys at on this Hump Day Wednesday? Keeping it moving. This is Crypto Sensei.
Remember, in the past, I've mentioned this maybe 100 times on this channel already, but my thought was that Ripple was going to use their stablecoin technology, not just for Ripple, but they're going to allow banks and other financial institutions and of course central banks to create their own stablecoins through the same technology on the XRP ledger. And this is the first example we are seeing of that. And the reason this is important is because as the value comes from the real world, right, paper money, as it gets tokenized and brought on chain, whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the time may be, the value is actually going to move on chain and live on chain. And so if let's say 10 trillion of this value globally comes onto the XRP ledger, that's going to add $10 trillion to the XRP ledger. So if you think about it, stable coins, tokenization of assets, you're talking about different maybe central banks building out their infrastructures on there for their own, stable values. I mean, this could get pretty interesting pretty quickly, right? We know that retail really isn't meant to push these tokens too much further past speculation. If we want a utility price for XRP, we need to actually have utility driving that price. And this is a big step towards that utility. So I'm really excited.
So shout out to the digital, actually this is Crypto Sensei, keeping it moving. This is, what the freak is going on with the mouse today? This is Jake Cleaver.
XRP, when it becomes tier 1 collateral, this will be the first time that you could have ever bought something besides gold at a very low price in a very short period of time that appreciated that rapidly, that was then used for that purpose. So there's a lot of contingencies there. And that's why I would say it's more than a once in a lifetime opportunity, a once in ever. I don't know of anything else that's ever going to be this type of opportunity. And I know how crazy, because I don't have a better word for it than that sounds, but that's what I really believe. I believe that this is what's going to run the monetary system for the next at least couple thousand years. And you have the opportunity to acquire it at $1 or $2 or $3 or 50 cents or 20 cents or whenever you bought it. When the BIS comes out and says that, XRP is tier 1 collateral, everyone will want it. Everyone will want it. And big people will want it. And they will pay a premium above and beyond whatever the actual spot value of it is, just like people do for gold now. And you'll be able to leverage it at very low interest rates. You'll be able to earn income off of it for the rest of your life. There's going to be a ton of ways and applications to be able to leverage this. XRP.
There he is, the man with the plan. What up, Silver Days? Thanks for joining. BTM Crypto News Network. Let's go, BTM. Like, share, and subscribe. What's going on with your fam? Thanks for joining. That was Jake Cleaver about more than once in a lifetime opportunity with XRP, which I don't know why people dislike XRP, right? Why are people fighting XRP? What do they think XRP is not going to do? I've been telling you guys the whole time, XRP is the way, not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes. This is Kamala Stevenson. Let's see what she has to say.
About how he doesn't see XRP at a high price, so people are losing it. I've told people over and over, David is not somebody you should ever take investing advice from. The statements that he made, they almost have to have what you call built-in deniability, because he's not allowed to say everything freely. But I can tell you one thing, he is right. One of the statements when he made, he said if it was going to go to high digits, it would be at $20, which basically he was saying the people don't believe it will, which he actually is right about.
If you're serious about building wealth in this shift, make sure you're subscribed.
He doesn't see XRP at a high price. A lot of people are upset because he, has come out and he's talking about how he doesn't see XRP at a high price, so people are losing it. I've told people over and over, David is not somebody you should ever take investing advice from. The statements that he made, they almost have to have what you call built-in deniability, because he's not allowed to say everything freely. But I can tell you one thing, he is right. One of the statements when he made, he said if it was going to go to high digits, it would be at $20, which basically he was saying the people don't believe it will, which he actually is right about.
If you're serious about building wealth in this shift, make sure you're subscribed.
He doesn't see XRP at a high price. A lot of people are.
So shout out to Camila Stevenson. And like I told you guys, I wouldn't take financial advice from a guy that sold his Ethereum really cheap anyway, right? I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him, but I'm not saying there's a lot going on right with the guy either, right? He might be a smart mind as far as development goes, but selling Ethereum at that price is probably not the best financial decision. Let me shoot a couple more shorts. Trying to send this message out real quick, and then we'll get into the
So let me ask you a question.
Then we'll get into XRP updates. No, what is going on with this mouse today?
XRP haters, listen up.
What about XRP in relation to Bitcoin?
Let me make sure. Okay. We live. So let's get back to this.
Coin and Ethereum.
Well, it's XRP haters, listen up.
What about XRP in relation to Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Well, it's got a use case, a very specific use case, and more in particular, the XRP ledger has a use case. So Ripple, the company, has as its 13 or 14-year mission, however long it's been, to move internationally value, okay, and primarily money. And so their chain, their XPRL chain, will be used for that. XRP is a tool on that chain. And so all of that will be used as it grows. And so that's all being built out. It won't be the only thing, as Ripple itself says to people all the time, where they're not going to be the only participant in this.
XRP haters, listen up.
What about XRP in relation to Bitcoin and Ethereum?
So shout out to the XRP haters. Haters make you greater. Keeping it pushing. This is Jake Cleaver.
Own a wrapped version of XRP, a non-F asset.
That's
version.
not the direct representation.
That's
of
not
value.
Flare version of it,
Yeah.
but this other
Not
type
good.
where it's, well, what happens in that parabolic rise in price of XRP? You think that exchange is going to redeem your XRP? Heck no, they're going to go bust. They're going to tell you pound sand. That's the nature of owning something that's not the asset, is you have third-party counterparty risk. You got redemption value if they redeem.
If they redeem. That's the counterparty risk.
So let me ask you a question. You own a wrapped version of XRP.
So shout out to Jake Cleaver. So let's get to it. XRP ETF inflows hit a record 25.8 million. What is going on? US spot ETF, XRP ETF recorded 25 million in net inflows on May 11th, the largest daily cash inflow since January 5th, when inflows hit 46.10 million, according to SoSo Value data. Franklin Templeton leads with 13.62 million. Franklin Templeton XRP ETF, XRPS led the pack with 13.26 million in net inflows on Monday, bringing total assets to 286.82 million. This marks huge, the fund's highest daily cash inflows since launch. The Bitwise ETF and Grayscale Trust ETF posted net inflows of 7.5 million and 4.9 million, respectively. The total assets across all XRP spot ETFs reached 1.18 billion at press. Since the beginning of May, the ETFs have not logged any negative days, signaling a potential renewal of institutional demand. Ripple Prime revenue triples after 200 million Netberg deal. The inflows came as Ripple Prime brokerage arm gained institutional traction. Ripple Prime secured $200 million funding facility from Berman to expand margin financing across traditional digital asset markets. Ripple says demand for prime brokerage business has accelerated since the Hidden Road acquisition, and the revenues tripling year over year. And the broader XRP narrative continues shifting towards institutional infrastructure after Ripple's JP Morgan Chase, JMP, MasterCard, and Ondo recently completed a tokenized treasury settlement on the XRPL. So what else do you guys need to hear? So this is the crypto bubbles. Trump coins up 1.6. Atom is up 2.3. Injective is up 16.5. I don't know what's going on with Injective, but Injective has been doing some nice pumps lately. World Mobile. I don't know why I would say World Liberty. World Mobile transaction Near protocol is 1.8% up. Turbo token, I see you out here. Turbo is, what's the day? The 13th or 14th? The 13th. 6.3. Osmosis is up 42.4. What is freaking going on with Osmosis? What even is Osmosis? On the hour, it is up 18.2. For 4 hours, 34.4. For the day, 42.2. For the week, 172. And for the month, 191%. For the year, it is still down 67%. I might need to pick some of this up. Not even 100% sure what it's doing, but it's been running like crazy. Quant is up 0.5 on the day. Canton Network is up 0.5. Dex is up 2.1. Monero is up 1.8. Bear is up 3.1. Binance is up 2.1. And I guess that's it for the market. So we'll look at the big boys. Bitcoin is down 1.6 on the day, down 1.5 for the 4 hour, down 0.5 on the hour. For the week, it is down 3.2. For the month, it is down 9.9. For the year, it is down 21.4 at 78,996. Ethereum is down 0.3 on the hour, 2.3 on the 4 hour, 0.8 on the day, down 4.5 on the week, down 0.9 on the month, and down 15.9 on the year. Let me see. XRP, our favorite cross-border transaction, is down 0.5 on the day, down 1.4 on the 4 hour, and down 0.1 on the hour, down 0.6 on the week, down 5 or up 5.9 on the month, and down 41.6, 45.1 on the year. It's weird. But we do know there's some price manipulation going on, people. I mean, come on. Why would XRP be down for the year, right? With all the news these guys are putting out, how can they possibly be down for the year? We're going back over to the BTM Crypto News Network. This is DTC just dropped the XRP bombshell. RL USD plus XRP now institutional collateral. DTC just released their new collateral infrastructure for tokenized market capital white pages May 13th, which is today. Owner tokenized serve plus collateral app chain. Ripple Prime CEO Mike Huggins confirmed. RLUSD stablecoins going live as a collateral to slash capital requirements and boost efficiency. Even bigger, XRP is stepping up as an institutional grade collateral alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, and tokenized money market funds. 8.4 billion in tokenized assets already under management, up 298% year over year. Near real-time collateral mobility, banks and institutions about to unlock trillions in liquidity. This isn't a theory. This is real-world adoption, hitting the XRP at warp speed. So let me know what you guys think about that. So going back over the notes. So XRP family, which is you guys, right? Are you guys not, or are you guys the XRP family? Today we have a ETF inflow, Japan bank rumors, and possibly a $4 breakout setup, and a chart that looks like it's been holding its breath longer than somebody's waiting on their Coinbase transactions to clear. I know that's right. That's why I stopped messing with Coinbase. First, they're feeding you to death, and for some reason, it takes Coinbase transactions twice as long as everywhere else to freaking clear, right? It sits in pending for no reason for hours. Like, I don't know. Does Coinbase even have the tokens? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Coinbase. I was, but then Coinbase started acting weird and started getting all kind of odd. So I don't know what you guys think, but definitely I would not advise using Coinbase, right? Not financial advice, or not something that I would continually to update or support, but just here nor there. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with the Coinbase thing. Today's title is bold. XRP will explode. ETF inflows. Bank of Japan rumors. But we're not just here to yell moon and throw rocket emojis at the screen. We're going to separate confirmed news, technical analysis, and crypto Twitter spicy meatball rumors. Because you know how crypto works. Everybody posts all Japanese banks are using XRP. And 5 minutes later, your uncle's trying to mortgage the barbecue grill. Okay. Definitely don't mortgage the barbecue grill, Unc. We'll need the barbecue grill, brother. Before we get started, drop your XRP price targets in the chat. Are you team $2, team $4, or team I'm not selling until my bank account looks like a phone number? I'm definitely the last one. I'm not selling until my bank account looks like a phone number. And then I'm probably still gonna leverage it. I probably wouldn't even sell it. Also, hit the like button. Like every help pushes the stream to more XRP holders. If you're new here, subscribe, because we cover crypto news, facts, jokes, and just enough chaos to keep the SEC nervous. So the big story, the XRP ETF inflows hit 25.8 million. Let's start with the headline that's got everybody's attention. XRP ETF inflows reportedly hit 25.8 million in one day. And we have, dang it, why do I never? Okay. So today, the terminal says 4.49 million, leverage 7.3. So I guess it pulled back like a big dog, because it was, what's today? It was pumping like crazy. What was this? Wow, 65 million on the 10th, which was Sunday. Oh, wait a minute. That must have been Friday. How's the 10th? Yeah, the 10th Sunday. Why would it be? This can't be right. Yeah, how could it be 10 million on Sunday, actually. Keeping it moving. So for the Bitwise spot, ETF is down 1.02 to $15.89. 2 million total inflow today. Franklin Templeton is down 0.98 to $15.44. 1.5 million in inflow. Canary Capital down 0.85, $15.11. 667 in inflow. Grayscale ETF down 0.90, $27.75, 266K in inflow. Grayscale $11.61, down 1.42 to 40,000 inflow. And 21 shares is unchanged, $13.41 with 4,000 inflow today. Turcom 2X is down 3.28 to $4.13, 3.45 million in inflows. Volatility shares down 2.88 to $43.72, 2.64 million in inflows. Pro shares 3.16% down, $3.89, 600. Hello. 697,000 in inflow. Volatility shares 1.18, $7.96, 490K in daily inflow. And today's volume 444,000 1.30, $14.47 for Amplify. So keeping it moving, go back over to X so we can get back to our notes. XRP recent market coverage reported that XRP is going on with the camera. Okay, well, forget the camera. See if we can hear. Can you hear this now? No, let's go with this guy. Let me see, where were we? Recent market coverage reported XRP ETFs rebounded with 25.8 million in inflows, with XRP ETF demand, while well accumulation helping to reinforce long-term conviction narrative around XRP. Another current report framed the move as the biggest XRP ETF inflow in one day since January, ahead of the crypto. I'm just trying to bring this article back up. Ahead of the ahead of crypto market structure legislation attention. Now, what does that matter? Because the ETFs are not just for degents with 3 monitors and a caffeine problem. ETFs are for traditional investors, financial investors, institutions, and people who want exposure people who want exposure without touching wallets, seed phrases, cold storage, or accidentally sending their coins to the shadow realm. And that's happened to me before, so I definitely understand that. When money flows into XRP ETFs, that tells you one thing: the market is not done watching XRP, and we knew that, guys. Phantom beats 875. I'm expecting it to hit this year. Really, Phantom? That would be awesome. All right, totally awesome. I'm looking at a $10 range, but I can definitely deal with 875 Phantom. So ETF inflows means investors are putting money into funds that track or hold exposure to XRP. In crypto, this can create a stronger demand narrative. It does not automatically mean price must go up tomorrow, but it does suggest XRP is still getting attention from serious capital. Think about it like this: retail is the crowd at the cookout, institution are people bringing the food truck. When the ETF inflows show up, that means the food trucks might be pulling into the driveway. So, chat, do you think ETF inflows matter more than retail hype? Type ETF if you think institutional demand is real catalyst, or type hype if you think crypto Twitter still moves the market. I'm going with the ETF on that one. Why ETF inflows could possibly be bullish for XRP. Here is why 25.8 million number is important. XRP has been fighting for credibility for years. It has been through legal battles, exchange delistings, relistings, rumors, lawsuits, partnerships, and more emotional damage than a meme coin investor checking their portfolio on a Sunday night. Been there, done that, bro. I definitely understand that. Emotional damage. ETF inflows can help XRP in 3 ways. Legitimacy. When XRP is inside ETF products, it becomes easier for traditional investors to view it as a investable asset instead of just another crypto token people argue about online. More liquidity, more investor vehicles can bring more volume. More volume can mean better prices discovery. Better price discovery can make breakouts more meaningful. So the narrative. In crypto, the narrative is fuel. Bitcoin has ETF fuel. Ethereum has ETF fuel. Solana has ETF speculation. XRP now has ETF inflow headlines. Whether you love XRP or hate XRP, you can't ignore institutions are watching. But here's the reality check. ETF inflows alone does not guarantee a straight candle to $4. Inflows can reverse, macro can shift. Bitcoin can squeeze, and the whole market catches the flu. ETF inflows are bullish evidence. They are not magic, a money printer. So the $4 setup, and I just realized I don't got coin market cap up here. Let me add coin market cap to the mix real quick. Oh man, what the freak? Oh man, what's that article? Wait a minute. Coin market cap. Oh man. Every time, man. Every time there's something good, you miss it. And when you come back, it's not on MSN anymore. So let me see here. We can get this open. Ripple News, why Korea is trading XRP more than Bitcoin right now? What the freak is going on out here? And why MSN? Watch. We go back to MSN, the article won't even be here. Right? Right? All that hype and nothing about XRP is on here. Oh man. That's how they get you, man. Every time that's how they get you. Keeping it moving. So back to our research. So XRP is down 0.3 on the day. Market cap is 87.8 billion, down 0.3. 24-hour trading volume 2.29 billion, down 5.91. Overall crypto market cap is down 1.13% to 2.64 trillion. CNC 20 is $160.47, down 1.2 trillion. Fear and greed is back in neutral. Looks like it's pushing back to fear. And that's where we want it because the prices will come down and we can clean up. Altcoin season is 43 out of 100. So it looks like we're pulling back to Bitcoin dominance. Average crypto RSI is 44.29, pulling back to oversold. So that's kind of interesting. And we'll go back to this article. Analysts say XRP symmetric triangle could trigger a 100% rally to $2 to $4. Quick read. XRP cleared $1.46 on Monday, May 10th. Oh, actually, this is May 10th. I'm not sure when May 10th is. With a 222% volume surge after 4 failed attempts at the same level. XRP could rally to $2 to $4 from here. The token could reach $2 based on the chart pattern XRP just broke out of. It could hit $4 only if a major catalyst like Clarity Act drives a breakout the size of what Ton and Ondo posted 2020 to 24 and 2026. 3 things could stall the rally. Heavily selling at the $1.44 to $1.45 from underwater investors. A Clarity Act delay passed the Senate May 21st. Recession or drop below the $1.30 support. Are you ahead or behind? Why do they keep putting this freaking retirement announcement on here? Nobody cares about the announcement retirement from smart assets, bro. I'm not even sure how that's a quick update. The $1.45 resistance has rejected XRP crypto 4 times since the war between the United States and Iran pushed its price below the level. That finally changed on May 10th when XRP cleared the resistance on the trading volume spike and held above it. Technical analysis known as BIRD XRPL on X thinks the breakout could send XRP to the $2 to $4 range, following the same pattern that took TON and Ondo to their breakouts high. Here's the review to determine. So this is the XRP breakout setup. Now let's talk about the charts. Analysts are watching XRP symmetric triangle setup, and here is what they are saying could open the door to a major move to $2 to $4. A recent Yahoo Finance linked market analysis says XRP cleared around the $1.45 on May 10th with a major surge with several failed attempts. BN Link Crypto also reported XRP has been stuck in the symmetric triangle where compression can lead to a strong directional move if resistance breaks. Let me explain symmetric triangles in plain English. A symmetrical triangle happens when the price keeps making lower highs and higher lows. The chart starts squeezing tighter and tighter, like XRP is trapped in a halfway with 2 whales walking towards each other. A hallway. I'm tripping. XRP is trapped in a hallway with 2 whales walking towards each other. When the price compresses like that, traders watch for a breakout. If it breaks upward, the bulls get excited. If it breaks downward, bears start acting like they predicted everything, even though they were quiet for 3 weeks. So the simple chart explanation. Here's the setup. XRP has been consolidating. Buyers are stepping in at higher lows. Sellers are pressing down at lower highs. Eventually, one side wins. For bullish breakout, XRP needs to break resistance with volume, not fake volume, not my cousin bought $40 on uphold volume, real confirmation. Key levels to discuss. Let me open up the chart as well. What is this? This is what is that? Trader view? You got to be kidding me. I've been talking on mute all that time. Oh my gosh. Chat, what do you think? We are testing the $1.60 or the $2 pullback. And I got to run that back. That's weird. It was muted all that time. So this is, here's what I'm watching this weekend. If XRP holds above the breakout area and pushes through the $1.50 to $1.60 with strong volume, then the first realistic target becomes the $2 zone. That doesn't mean we teleport there in one candle. It means the bulls have a cleaner technical path. If XRP loses the breakout level and falls below support, then we may see a fake out. And nobody likes a fake out. Definitely don't. Freaking fake outs, man. A fake out is like when DoorDash says the food is 5 minutes away for 35 minutes. So weekend bullish scenario. My bullish weekend setup is simple. XRP needs volume. Bitcoin needs to stay stable and bullish. And XRP needs to hold above key support. If that happens, we can push towards $1.60 and then $1.75, and the momentum gets spicy. The $2 level becomes the magnet. Weekend bearish scenario. The bearish setup is simple. If XRP fails to hold support, loses volume, Bitcoin rolls over, then XRP could come down and retest the lower consolidation zone. That would not kill long-term price story, but it would delay the breakout. So in the chat, we are saying the first $1.60, $2 or a pullback. Drop the number in the chat right now. So Japan bank rumors, what's confirmed and what is hype. Now let's get into the spicy Japan rumors. Every XRP cycle we hear some version of this. All Japanese banks are using XRP. That headline's powerful and sounds amazing, and it gets clicks, it gets retweets, it gets your neighbor asking if XRP is replacing the yen by Monday. But we have to be honest. The claim that the Japanese banks are using XRP is not confirmed. The confirmed story is still bullish, but more specific. What up, Dave? What's going on with your fam? Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. For some reason, my camera's out. We're going to keep pushing. So the confirmed story is still bullish, but it's more specific. Ripple officially announced 2021 that on-demand liquidity launched in Japan with SBI Remittance Coin PH and SBI Venture Trade, allowing RippleNet customers to use XRP to reduce pre-funded support cross-border payments from Japan to the Philippines. Ripple's SBI Remittance case study also says SBI Remittance used RippleNet for real-time remittance payments between Japan and Thailand with some commercial bank. So the honest headline is not that all Japanese banks are using XRP. The honest headline is Ripple hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out what the freak is going on with the So the honest headline is not Japanese banks are using Ripple. The honest headline is Ripple and SBI have real payment infrastructure in Japan and Asia, and XRP have been used in certain remittance corridors, that is still a big deal. So crypto Twitter sometimes takes one real partnership and runs it to every bank in Japan, is now secretly an XRP validator. Relax, fam. We need facts before we start naming our boats XRP retirement plans. Confirm Japan related points. Ripple has long-standing relationship with XBI. SBI Remittance has used RippleNet and Ripple-related liquidity solutions as Asia remittance corridors. Japan remains one of XRP's strongest utility narratives. All the banks are using XRP claim is not confirmed by official banking authorities. The stronger angle is adoption potential, not confirmed nationwide usage. So when people say Japan banks are using XRP, we need to ask which banks, what product, what corridor, what volume, and is XRP actually used as the bridge assets? That's how we separate real news from hopium with a Wi-Fi connection. So for the chat case, I should make separate video fact-checking Japanese XRP bank rumor. Type fact check if you want the video. So the bull case for XRP. Now let's get in the bull case together. Bullish factor number one, XRP ETFs inflows. First, ETF inflows are back in the conversation. 28.5 million in inflows day shows there is a demand. Again, not guaranteed price, but definitely a bullish signal. Bullish factor number two, technical compression. Second, the chart is compressing. Symmetric triangles can lead to explosive moves when they break with volume. XRP has been stuck, squeezed, and quiet, and sometimes the quiet coins are the ones that move when nobody's emotionally prepared. Number three, Japan SBI utility narrative. Third, Japan and SBI remain parts of the XRP utility story. Not all Japanese banks are confirmed, but to be using XRP, but the Ripple SBI relationship is real, and XRP has been part of their remittance products. Bullish factor number four, accumulation narratives. Recent on-chain coverage reported record growth in wallets holding at least 10,000 XRP, with sentiment framing the trend as accumulation among larger holders. Fourth, whale and mid-tier accumulation is being watched. When larger wallets accumulate during fear, that can be a sign of conviction. It does not guarantee a breakout, but it tells us some holders are not scared out of the market. Factor number five, crypto regulation narrative. If the crypto market structure legislation gets attention, XRP could benefit from a broader crypto clarity narrative. XRP has been one of the tokens most tied to regulation headlines, so anything around crypto clarity could fuel interest. Segment number six, the bear case. Now let's be responsible, because if you only listen to bullish videos, you think every coin is going to $100 by breakfast. Number one, risk ETF inflows could reverse. One strong inflow day is good, but we need consistency. If inflows continue, that's stronger. If they reverse, the narrative cools down. Number two, risk triangle breakout could fake out. Technical analysis is probably not prophecy. A breakout needs confirmation without volume. XRP could fake out and come back down. If the market price in fake news, then a disappointment could cause sell pressure. And that's why we need to separate confirmed Ripple SBI payment corridors from unconfirmed all Japanese banks claim. Risk number 4, Bitcoin controls the room. XRP can look amazing, but if Bitcoin dumps, the whole market can get dragged down. Bitcoin is still the DJ at the crypto party. If Bitcoin turns off the music, everybody starts looking confused. Number 5, $4 is possible, but not automatic. Could XRP move to $4 if everything lines up? Yes. That's bullish technical narrative, but it also needs strong volume, broader market strength, and continued ETF demand and clear breakout confirmation. So, Black Ants, I'm predicting a pullback. Those House of Representatives are more likely to kill the bill by adding more changes. If and when they do, the Senate will kick it back and it'll be dead until December. And I've been telling you guys that the whole time. I don't think it's going to pass, guys. They're going to get further and further, closer and closer, and then they're going to pull back. Then they're going to push again, and then they're going to pull back. Then they're going to push some more, and then they're going to pull back. And they're going to go back and forth until at least the summer or maybe midterms, right? Because I definitely don't think that these guys are passing this bill anytime soon. But let me know what you guys think about that. And we'll keep it moving. But I'm predicting $5, then drop to $2, hold steadily, then $100 after 3 months. If you like it, I love it. Positioning for a new financial era. Definitely. Let me go back to where were we? So for the weekend, my XRP game plan. Bullish weekend. I want to see XRP hold the $1.40, $1.45 area, and then want to see a clean push to $1.50. After that, $1.60, $1.75 zone becomes important. If volume comes in and Bitcoin behaves, then $2 becomes a big psychological magnet. A neutral setup. If XRP chops sideways between $1.40 and $1.55, that means the market is deciding that's not bad. Consolidation can be healthy if support holds. The bear setup, if XRP loses support zone and the volume disappears, then the breakout gets delayed. In that case, I would watch for a retest lower before getting excited again. For confirmation, I want 4 things: price above resistance, volume expansion, Bitcoin not dumping, and XRP holding a breakout on a retest. Because the first breakout is exciting, the retest is where the truth comes out. So let me know what you guys think about that. And I got a cold, so I'm going to have to click on a video because I am losing. Let me see here.
Donald Trump just confirmed the skies. So today we're going to be talking about the conflict. Then we have CPI news and inflation. Okay, rate hikes are on the table because due to the energy crisis, and as well as, well, I feel like a major expansion for XRP is incoming. Okay. First things first, Kalshi tweets out, breaking, Trump says stock market will go quote unquote through the roof when war ends. Who said this first? Right? So I know something's incoming, guys. I don't know what the exact narrative will be to push crypto prices higher, right? Because the stock market is already expanding, but there will be some type of white swan event sometime soon that will make XRP go back to $2. Okay? Trump says, okay, look, guys, when the Iran situation is done and over with, right? Oil prices will go back lower, and then crypto prices and stock market will keep going higher. The question is, when will this happen? You know what is happening though is Trump then stated that Russia-Ukraine war is going to end very soon. Okay, so if Trump believes that the current conflict is good for the markets, probably this is as well too, and not only good for markets, but as well as for the entire world. Okay, so these conflicts could be coming to an end, guys. Well, we're going to be talking and investigating more on this matter later in today's video. But Jim Cramer is back on the scene, by the way, and he tweets out, "Be careful, smell the reversal day." Right, this was posted yesterday, and Jim is still bearish, guys. Right, I looked through his Twitter accounts here and went to see if he's posting a bunch of stuff, right, about the markets. I mean, here and there, but nothing too crazy. You guys see, I don't think he's been very active with his calls, right? Either if he's bullish or bearish. But in reality, he's still bearish, guys, to this day, right? Since the bottom was already in. Okay, he believes that these prices for stocks and cryptos are going to reverse and go lower. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Right, the comments here from Michael Berry, stock trader. Well, bulls right now, right? Everyone's happy. Inverse Kramer time, exactly, guys. So that's what I think. I think we're still going to go higher, no matter what appears, right? Like the thing is, I don't think anything like there's no black swan events that will appear out of nowhere. Okay, and if there are going to be, well, I don't think it'll XRP will take this low here. Okay, at $1.13. Okay. In reality, I found a very interesting pattern that has been happening to XRP for months now since the black swan. You guys notice it? And this is when I believe XRP will finally rise to $2. I have the exact date and the time frame. Check this out. So this indicator here is called the moon phases. You got the new moons, right? The bearish moons on the top, and then the full moons on the bottom here. Okay, so do you guys notice something that I noticed? And I don't think anybody else has noticed this. If you guys enjoyed today's content, please like and share, guys. What do you guys see? Well, during this full range for XRP, what has XRP done, right? Since the bottom, the black swan that occurred a couple months ago. Well, XRP has just been ranging in a sideways pattern here. It's compressing, right? And then, if you guys notice something even more odd, is every time we have seen bearish moons appear, XRP dumped. Each time. Every time we have seen bullish moons appear, XRP pumped. Each time. But do you guys notice about the pump moments? The pump moments for XRP always happened at the tail end of the full moon, right? XRP always accelerates fast before the new moon strikes the bearish moon, right? Look at this. XRP was stable throughout this entire period, but a few days before the bear moon struck, it exploded. Right? A few days before the bear moon struck here, it exploded there too. It has been 100% accurate in its full range. And guess what XRP just did again? The bear moon is going to appear in the coming days. XRP accelerated fast before the bear moon probably activates in the coming days. What does this tell us? Well, I already cracked the code for everyone. I think I know when XRP will go to $2. Number one, the time frame of these moons appearing is about 2 weeks, give or take. Okay, each 2 weeks here. Okay, and what could this tell us? Well, number one being that the next bearish moon is about to appear literally in the coming days here, right? And probably, I think I searched it up, it said May 16th, right? So on the 15th, so on the 16th, guys, this indicator will print another bearish moon. Okay, when it does, XRP will probably consolidate for the next 2 weeks here by June, right? And then it's finally going to make its move, right? So it's just so it could correlate with the moon phases, right? Because there's an energy. It's like the bearish energy, bullish energy, bearish energy, bullish energy, bearish energy, bullish energy, bearish energy, and then bullish energy. And I think this next bullish energy will finally make XRP explode out of this range that has been going sideways for months. You guys see this? Right? So the next bear moon appears here, okay, consolidate, and then next bull moon appears here, finally take it. There's going to be some type of white swan event. It could be this, that the conflict ends. It could be something else, but it's going to be something, right? Now, let's move forward to from breaking 9/11. The U.S. Senate has advanced Kevin Warsh to become President Trump's chairman of the Federal Reserve. And guess what this means? Kevin Warsh, right, that just got nominated.
The yeas are 49, the nays are
to become he's a sitting chair for the Fed guys. He's pro crypto. Okay, he has now just entered as a new guard, right, to monitor the economy of the world, guys, right, and he's bullish on cryptocurrencies. Okay, which means this could be a trigger for us to go higher, and people are bearish.
44, and the motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Federal Reserve System, Kevin Warsh of Florida, to be a member of the Board of Governors.
That's it. So that's what I think, guys. I think good times are incoming, right? Now here's the bad part about this situation is that from Machiguru, breaking U.S. inflation rises to 3.8%, higher than expectations. So check this out. So they brought upon a new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, bullish on cryptos. On the other hand, we see inflation rising, right, on an upward trajectory. That's a bad thing for markets, but I don't think markets care about this. Why? Here's why. Because when the report came out, guys, the U.S. stock market did this, but then right after it pumped, which tells us something. Markets do not care about bearish news at all anymore. I'm telling you. Okay, we'll no longer see large dumps happening until there's a severe crisis that appears randomly one day. Who knows if it's going to be later this year or years from now. We're in a bull market. We already called the bottom, and everyone is so fearful about all these things happening, right? It's like a U.S. conflict, inflation rising, energy crisis. This is what you call this is what you call the wall of worry. Stock prices are going to keep climbing the wall of worry because it's a method that the elites use. So retail, like you and I, don't buy, right? And we're in a fearful state, which makes us not wanting to buy. Even though, yes, inflation is going higher. The only way inflation comes lower, by the way, is due to a black swan event. I'm telling you this. I already cracked the code. We cracked it years ago. The only way inflation will come down to their targets of 2% is by, and it's going to go to deflation of what's upcoming, guys. Not right now, who knows when, but it's only going to be due to a black swan event. And by then, before the black swan even appears, XRP, who knows what price it will be. Could it be $3 or $10? You guys see what I'm talking about? Right? Yes, there are odds of Fed hikes are surging here. Okay, the Fed or the market believes that there are chances of, by September, look at this, rate hikes on the table. Okay, but again, I don't think anything matters. I don't think anything matters until the day we see alt season, right? Or everything expanding and ballooning out of proportions. Okay, nothing truly matters, guys. Again, it's not a shock. It's not a shocker that inflation has risen here because of this conflict, right? Energy crises are taking place. Okay. So what is Donald Trump going to do? Because he brought upon this war, which then closed the Strait of Hormuz. Iran did, and that spiked the oil to go higher. Right, inflation is rising, but Trump wants Fed rate cuts. So he just hurt himself. Justin, Iran says it will consider enriching its uranium to 90% required for building a nuclear weapon if attacked again. You guys see what's about to happen, guys? So will this conflict end? I don't know, but it seems like Trump wants Iran to create some type of weapon of mass destruction so it could attack America. Here's why. Because Trump seriously is considering resuming military operations against Iran. But Iran just stated, hey, if they do that, if America comes at us again, well, it's time to go. They're going to get the green light to finally build out a weapon that truly is terrifying. I think hotter than the sun for like a split second. Right? You guys, so things are happening, guys. I don't like, the thing is, I don't think anything will happen, right? This conflict can still keep on going. Doesn't matter. If it does end, Trump did say it will explode the markets to go higher, right? And I hope it does. But if it doesn't, it doesn't matter because the markets are programmed to go higher anyway, no matter what type of fearful energy they bring to the world. Then we see earthquake hits Tehran. Why? People are mentioning they're doing nuclear tests, right? So things are accelerating with this.
I don't want to get too political on that one, so we're gonna back off of that and let's go over to watching the video earlier. I'm looking for that video. I guess we'll go with Stockmo real quick. Be right back.
Everything is going to change in 24 hours. Look, I'm tired of saying it, but that does not take away from the truth that I'm telling you. It's going to change in 24 hours, either for the better or for the worse. And we're talking XRP, we're talking Solana, and of course, Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm looking to do some moves as well. The more I research this, the more I kind of want to dip my toes into a little bit of Solana out there. I don't know if you guys got it. Some of you might have just had your ears perk up when I just said that. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Between the big four, and you guys know I love the big four: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana. I'm watching the two that I think give me the best bang for the buck. And right now I'm in XRP heavy. I actually want to get some Solana before Thursday. Now, I think the hit and miss, the risk reward for Solana is going to be between XRP and Solana. It's going to be close, but I actually think Solana will give you a little bit more bang for the buck if it hits, and if it misses, you're going to lose a little bit more. That's what I think is going to happen. So I kind of want to have some. Let me know down below if you guys have some or not. But hey, massive things going on out there in this space. The banks are absolutely clamoring right now to try to get this thing not to go through the clarity markup vote, not to succeed on Thursday. One day, folks. We're one day away. Everything changes in 24 hours. That, my friends, is the truth. We get to tomorrow, it's go time. It's hard to believe after discussing this since 2025 all the way up to May of 2026. It should have never took this long. We are at the end of the line, good or bad. And I say that in the hopes that it's good. Now, if it's bad, there's really nothing to talk about until November, December, because you'll get the skinny rider that I was talking about. It'll be forced upon a bill, most likely in December. And that's how I would expect it to pass if this does not work. I actually think it's going to work. I actually think they're going to be able to get this done. And I think it gets done by August. Somebody asked me earlier, when do you think it's going to be done? The Democrats have talked about it, and they have brought up the second week of August. In other words, it's one thing to have the Republicans say, we want it by July 4th. You can want all you want. But the Democrats are the ones that really can get this to the finish line if they so desire. And I think they do desire to do that. This is going to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. They're going to, this is what we need. We need the codification of the laws. In getting this codification, we got an absolute monster opportunity to take over the world in terms of being the crypto capital of the world. And I think that's big. It's big. I'm excited. So much so, we're trading today, 2 o'clock Eastern, guys. I'm going to tell you, here's how you can join it. We got the first link down below. Click this. Boom. You're going to be brought over to Patreon. All you got to do is join now. I have the 40% automatically off. And here's the biggest deal you can get. Boom. Get an annual pass. You guys can upgrade for, because I know there's thousands of you on Patreon and you wanted to upgrade. That, and we finally worked with them to get it taken care of. You can upgrade to an annual pass and save 40% off there, plus a little extra for doing the annual. If you guys so desire, you guys can jump in here. This is the Earner Core. Gets you access to every single channel in the Discord. So for those who wanted to do that, you're a part of Discord and you're like, hey, I want all that. I want the extra live and everything you're doing today. Now you can. And if you're not in the Discord, get in there. What are you waiting for, man? This is dirt cheap. You guys can take advantage of it. Give it a shot. Now the 40% off is for your first month, but if you do the annual, it's for the entire year. So take advantage of that today. Get in there. I'll be trading at 2 o'clock. Now, for those who want to do the lifetime one payment done, I got the 40% off for a limited time. That is over here at wap.com. You can click buy now, put in code MO. You'll see that in the writing. You'll save 40% off the lifetime. And this code, we got the codes automatic over at Patreon. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic right there. Boom, boom. Either way, you get it. All right, now let's get into the charts. Now, what I've been telling you is that the 5 has been a magnet. It has been an absolute magnet of what we have been seeing. And I've been watching this. I've been following it. Everything has been working towards that 5. Every time we got above it, push back down to it. Every time we got below it, push back up to it. Today, we're right on it. We were starting below, went down a little bit, and pushed right back above it. I believe we're going to see this. Remember, I told you we're going to trade sideways. Our hope was to trade in here. We're not getting in here. What we are going to get is above the 5 or the 13 and the 50. That's good. To stay above the 5. If we can stay above the 5, that's fantastic. Stay above the 13 for sure. And the worst case scenario is if we dip below the 50 EMA. Now, some bad news comes out today. You have the press, the banks pushing towards negativity that we're not going to get it done. The ethics concerns. We got the ethics concerns, folks. Do not sleep on that. So the big ethics concerns we're seeing, we're going to have to deal with. And now, I told you months ago how this was going to go down. We would get the stablecoin yield compromise, best case scenario. They did it. They would go ahead and get agreements on everything almost. They did it. Now, the one thing I told you they would kick right at the end would be the ethics. The ethics. And yes or no? Was I right? It was exactly what I told you. The Democrats came out and said, we're not passing anything. And Gillibrand, all of them, Warren, unless we get ethics, strong ethics. Now, the Republicans were also have a big amount of them saying, we want it too. We want ethics too. So they both want ethics. And I agree with them. We all do. We want an ethical clause in there. There's no insider trading. People aren't in there making money hand over fist on this and any laws. But here's the deal. It can't just be crypto. It needs to be stocks, real estate, anything that these people touch that have value. It needs to be it all. Precious metals, energy, you name it, commodities. I don't care what it is. These people can't own it. And that means all senators, all congressmen, their staffers, all of it. If that's the way you're going to do it, do not just pick one branch, the executive branch. Pick the legislation branch, the judicial branch, all the branches. Call it the 3-branch insider trading rule that no one can make money off the things that they have an effect on. And then you got the entire United States backing you. And that one's going to win a lot of support. Who's going to do that, though? Who is going to take away their golden goose to make the ethics of this country right? Now, you might say, Mo, let me see that chart again. You might say, hey, they would do it. And I would say, you can see it going higher and everybody's, who's going to want to not make a little bit off of that? So I say this to you. We've had the Congress since 1776, right? We signed the Declaration of Independence. And since then, we formed our government. And since we formed the government, 250 years ago, we signed the Declaration of Independence. Have we made a banning of all that insider trade? I mean, a complete, utterly ban. You go to jail if you make money off. No, they get a little, you know, they can still in some form, some way control how much they're doing and stuff, and people outside of them. And it's insane to be able to see it. And some of these people come in not very rich and they leave very rich. So that needs to change. And it's been 200 years, 250 years. And so everybody's saying, well, you know, Mo, they're working 250 years they've been working on it and they still haven't done it. So they're going to pick this moment to destroy an industry because the banks have been lobbying. And that's one of the things that gets me concerned. If this fails because of the ethics, which I have at a 20% chance, I am going to be utterly just very upset because it shows me that it shows me how the country runs. And I want to hope that we have both sides working together for the betterment of the country, not who got the most money from lobbying efforts from banks or crypto. You know, what's the best for the country? Crypto's taking over the world. That's not something I'm going out on a limb on. Crypto is here to stay. It's going to continue to dominate. It's going to put traditional finance under a microscope, and we're going to see how bad it really is. There's never been another opportunity to have a financial instrument that can send large sums across borders in a minute at a fraction of anything, hardly anything. And it's open for the public to see on the blockchain. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Now, are the banks liking it? No, you're taking away from their whole way of making money for centuries, and they don't like it one bit. Truth be told, the banks can get involved too and do the same exact thing, and they have the networks, the connections, and everything. So as this gets codified, I believe the banks will open their arms. Credit unions will open their arms. Everybody's going to open their arms because it's written for them to be able to make. They're going to be able to come in there and continue to increase their revenue as they go forward. And that's one of the things I am watching for. So we'll see how it goes. But I got to be blunt with you. You know, at the end of the day, they're going to fight tooth and nail to try to save their golden goose and make sure we only get 0.1% interest. So at that point, when you're hearing me talk about this, and you're like, Mo, you keep bringing this up because I want you to realize it. I want you to see how this game is being played. The banks have put in over $100 million. I want you to sit back for a moment and think, how can you spend $100 million on lobbying, talking? $100 million, folks. I can't even understand how they can do it. That's in the last year. That's in the last year. They are lobbying everywhere. And that was before the Clarity Act really picked up steam. Now that it's picked up steam, I'm not sure. I am not sure how much they spent. Just say in the last 6 months, I'd be interested in seeing crypto too. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm excited about where we are. We're 24 hours away. Everything changes, good or bad. If this comes out that it is a bipartisan success, we get all 13 Republicans and a couple of the Democrats to go with this. After the House vote had over 60% of all the House vote for it, supermajority. I would expect that we'd be able to get that 60 votes in the Senate as well to go ahead and get this across. And then we have to see what the House wants to do, if they up and down vote or what's going to be, if they're going to change things, and it got to go back to the Senate. That's another delay I'm worried about. And of course, we got to go ahead and make sure it's consolidated with the agriculture. Like, there's so much, but it can be done. Now, I brought up earlier about the Democrats saying that they could get it done by the second week of August. The fact that they threw out a date tells you they've been looking and they know what they want to do, and they realize summer's coming as well. And if this is going to get done, they need to be, you know, it has to be quick. Will it get done by August, the second week of August, or will it get that July 4th? It can be done by July 4th if this goes well tomorrow. I am waiting. I'm doing this video. I'm excited about things. XRP is doing what XRP does. It's fighting to stay above the 5, which I love. I want to get us back above 147, get up to 148 before tomorrow. That would tell me that the institutions are liking what they're saying. Remember, just a few days ago, we were all the way down in the 130s, almost teasing 120s again. We are all the way up to 140s, mid 140s. So I'm not complaining about this. Would I like it to be higher? Yes. I want us up there to $2 to $3. I'd love to hit the highs again. We're not there yet. It's going to take this Clarity Act to really ignite it. If I look at this too, talk about a short squeeze. I want you to look at this, all right? Look how deep this dropped. And look at this consolidation phase. Now, this consolidation phase, to me, is ready to rock and roll higher. But it's not going to do it until we get the Clarity Act to pass. Once that Clarity Act passes, I think we're on to something big. But if it doesn't pass, we're going back down and retesting that 120s. And that's the whole deal, because then you're going to trade between 120 to 135 until November, December, when I think you get the skinny rider pass. Now, I'm hoping that we don't have to deal with that, but we'll see. Solana, for those who are watching Solana, I do want you to know, I think Solana has a fantastic opportunity. Look at this. It's already doing some good moves. I think it has a fantastic opportunity to do something special if this Clarity Act passes. I actually think possibly it'll have a little larger percentage gain than XRP. And I think XRP and Solana will both beat Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, on the downside, if this does not pass, I think Bitcoin drops the least, Ethereum second, XRP third, and Solana loses the most. But that's my opinion on this. Now, I don't know which one you're holding. Let me know in the comments down below. And more importantly, if you have not joined, use the first link down below to join the Earner Core. Get in there so you can watch me in my live stream today, and you can take advantage of that. And that's going to be at 2 o'clock. That's going to be good. We crushed it yesterday. We'll see how we do this today. I did want to do some shout outs to some winners. JP, I see you in there with the wins. Jen Wealth Seeker, I love it. First trade in your Earner group. Looking forward to tomorrow. I am trading today. That's today now. And we did good. We did better and good. We did well. Thanks for the bread indicators. Quick to jump in last minute. Beautiful shot. I love it. I love it. Shaman coming in. Anthony in the house. Yeah. You know, we're going to do it. D-Gen in the house. I love seeing it. Steezy, let's go. Let's go. B-Boy in there. Arbor. Fogo, let's go. Boa. We got all kinds. Marlin.
So shout out to Stock Mo and those updates, keeping it moving. This is Austin.
I firmly believe one thing as an XRP holder, that XRP will be one of the biggest breakout cryptos when we see crypto break out and when we see the market start to move. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. I'm going to give you my reasonings why. You're, of course, open and welcome to, drop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, if you agree or disagree or what have you. But let's get into this. And I promise this will be worth your time because, again, I fundamentally believe in XRP and that fact that what they're going to put together and what's going to happen with them is nothing short of amazing as we kind of move into when the market starts to turn around. Okay, so you can see right now as of the recording of the video, the stock market is not open yet. The Dow futures, NASDAQ futures are giving kind of a mixed signal here. We are also waiting on the PPI print, the Producers Price Index print. So I'll be doing a video on that when we start to see kind of what plays out with that. So right now, as of the recording of this video, XRP is down 0.6%. Again, not a lot going on in the overall market. You can see that Bitcoin is down 0.65%, Ethereum's up 0.3%. Ooh, okay, BNB is up 1.85%. In fact, really not a whole heck of a lot going on. You can see kind of right here. Okay, so with that, let's take a look and kind of talk about why I think that XRP is going to be one of the biggest breakout cryptos when we see the market turn back around. It is really because I think XRP might be the biggest mover. It has actually lagged, XRP has, behind some of the other major cryptos as far as kind of percentage gains in the last couple of months. It's been about 8%. It's done about an 8% increase since April. Among top 10 crypto assets, XRP has witnessed the least gains, okay? We are sitting at this level with XRP. Let me show you the number just to point this out. We're sitting at this level where we're at $1.44, and we have been pushed back from this level 4 other times. There's a billion XRP tokens sitting at this level that were bought at this level, number one. So that is a tremendous buy wall that we've got to get past. Number two, manipulation. I think that we fundamentally have manipulation going on in the crypto market, especially around XRP. I think that there's a lot of institutional players, onshore, offshore, what have you, that are on purpose.
Clear XRP manipulation. I've been saying that for some time, and people always fudded me, but I'm definitely telling you, something does not seem right with the XRP and the way that the price moves, right? And we know for a fact that crypto is open for manipulation, but let me know what you guys think about that. And let's get back to the video.
Just keeping XRP suppressed so that they can continue to buy at these lowish prices. And again, low is relative, right? Low prices relative to what it's going to be worth 6 months, a year, 2 or 3 years from now. And that kind of brings me back to the point of the video, is that I think that XRP has the opportunity to minimum 10x from where it's at right now in the next year or so, if not faster, depending upon kind of market conditions, right? XRP cannot go up in a vacuum. It has to go up alongside Bitcoin and the rest of the market. But a lot of capital, a lot of liquidity is going to flow into XRP. It simply is. XRP really has not had its major run like Bitcoin, like Ethereum. It's been kept down and suppressed for years because of the SEC lawsuit, which was a frivolous lawsuit, by the way, in my opinion. And I firmly believe that. I actually believe that fundamentally it was a backroom deal and brought on by, in my opinion, the banks, the banking industry, because they saw what XRP was building and they needed to slow them down. Okay. So that's my opinion, of course. But regardless, the point I'm trying to make is that XRP really has not had its major run. And if you look at what Ripple behind XRP has put together, the full financial services stack of everything that they're doing to facilitate the movement of money and all this kind of different stuff around the new financial rail system that is ultimately coming in one way or the other. XRP just gets a small-ish percentage of that new financial rail model, if you will, of how money will be moved and transacted and settled and all those and all the there's other components of that. If you look at all of the acquisitions that Ripple has done, it pretty much is there. You just have to have the faith and the courage to stand and wait, right? Because that's really where we're at right now. We're at a place right now where XRP and all of crypto is simply in kind of a wait mode. And it's also a little bit of seasonality. We're moving into summer. Seasonality associated with summer for crypto is very, very low. Crypto doesn't do a lot in the summer. Secondly, we got the Iran-US conflict. We've got the Clarity Act, which is looking less and less like it's going to happen, which is extremely frustrating. And I'm more upset about that than I appear to be, but this is a G-rated channel. We're at this place where I think ultimately we're still eyeing and looking at that fourth quarter scenario that I've talked to you guys about, fourth quarter of this year, when I think that we'll see Bitcoin and XRP start to break out and move because of liquidity, of what I'm calling bullish liquidity moving in. Because right now there is a lack of liquidity in the market, and B, the liquidity that is pretty much of a bearish nature. It's keeping us down. It's keeping XRP down. I mentioned earlier in the video, we cannot seem to get past this $1.45-ish price range, $1.45 to kind of maybe $1.50 price range. And I think it's fundamentally manipulation. I really do. And ultimately manipulation will stop winning to a point as XRP gets bigger from a market capitalization and just has more liquidity behind it. It's harder to push it around. And right now, a lot of assets in crypto, it's easier and ish, if you will, for nefarious, good word of the day, nefarious players who really want to try to make money off of shorting and things of this nature, can keep various crypto assets down from the price standpoint. And that's the reality of where we're at, guys. I wanted you guys to kind of hear my 2 cents on where we're at with all of the marketplace and what's playing out. And I just, it is frustrating, and I will not deny that. Right. Okay. So, on a completely different note, I started this channel a while ago, but I've reinvigorated it, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is my stock channel. So if you want, there's a link down in the description below to go get this or to go try it. It's free. This video right here is absolutely blowing up. I got rich off of NVIDIA and Palantir. I was an early investor in NVIDIA and Palantir in the AI sector, obviously. And in this video, I talk about what I think is the next wave, and a way for a lot of people to make a lot of money in AI, kind of AI stocks and AI related stocks.
The
So that's what
inaugural
this
meme
video is
coin
about,
World
and it's
Cup
absolutely
field
killing
is
it.
set.
So it's 35,000 views and blowing up. Okay. So, but you can see I do a lot of AI stocks over here, and I think that AI stocks, have been for a couple of
meme
years.
coins,
I've been
seeded by
investing in them.
current
So I
market
thought,
cap.
why not just do a channel and start talking about and helping you guys find AI stocks for you to invest in. So that's what this channel is pretty much become.
Resolved
and I
by
do
live price
other
movement
kind
through
of stocks, but
DI-neutral
AI
Oracle.
is so hot right now, and I think it continue to be. So doing a lot of AI stocks. If you're interested in that, links in the description below. Please subscribe, and then please, obviously, watch a couple of videos. I promise you gets a lot of value out of them. So, yeah, I appreciate you giving me a few minutes, and I'll see you in the next video, and we'll see how it all.
Elizabeth Warren stayed up all night filing 40 amendments, everyone, to the Clarity Act. 40, including one specifically that's targeting Ripple's Fed Master Account application. 40 amendments. You really think she dug through 309 pages, stayed up all night, and filed 40 amendments? I don't think so. We all know she's a paid puppet. We all know it. Question is, who's behind it and why are they trying to drop Ripple? But we're going to break it all down throughout this video. Don't you worry. But on the brighter side, at the same time that's all going down, Japan just reclassified XRP as a financial instrument on par with stocks and bonds. The BIS just appointed 4 new governors, and every single one of them with a documented Ripple connection. And Swift, Ripple, and MasterCard, they just joined the same BIS cross-border payments task force together. Coincidence? Maybe. Something bigger? I think so. Look, Warren's fighting to keep XRP out the system. The system is quietly building around her. It is that simple. We're going to break it all down. Let's hit a quick ad from the sponsor real quick. Before we continue with today's XRP update, I want to quickly talk about something XRP holders have been asking me about lately. A lot of people have been asking about holding XRP long term, waiting for the big move. But the question is, what is your XRP doing while you wait? Sitting in a wallet, or is it actually working for you? That's when I've been looking into a platform called Fortress X. It allows XRP holders to put their assets into liquidity pools and generate yield while still holding long term. No lockups, withdrawal anytime, and the platform's been operating since 2018. So instead of letting your XRP sit idle, some holders have started to make their assets productive. If you want to check it out, I'm going to link it on down below. So let's start here with what happened in the Senate, because understanding this and the opposition, are we allowed to say the enemy? The enemy? Like a T-Rex. You see her. It's just as important as tracking the wins. So ahead of tomorrow's, right, Thursday's Senate Banking Committee markup vote on the Clarity Act, Senate Elizabeth Warren, she filed over 40 amendments, part of more than 100 total amendments filed by various senators. The most significant proposal would block the Federal Reserve from granting master accounts to crypto companies, directly targeting here Ripple, Circle, Anchorage Digital, and Custodia Bank, all which have pending applications. Now, here's the context behind all of this that makes this notable. Ripple has already received OCC approval for a national bank charter. Kraken, they have already secured a Fed Master account. Warren's amendment, it's not stopping a future event. It is trying to reverse approvals that already happened. Fellow Democrats Jack Reed and Tina Smith, they were mentioned in this article as well. They piled on with their own amendment.
So you got to wonder, what exactly is her goal here? Why would she be making amendments onto banking that already been approved, right? This is another stall tactic. These guys do not want the bank to lose control, guys. It's plain and simple. These guys are fighting tooth and nail to keep the bank where it needs to be, right? So crypto cannot take over. XRP is not going to the moon. It's buying the moon. I was about to say higher energy. I was about to give you the business. But yes, I think we are mooning, baby. Selling XRP is like selling Bitcoin. Right. Welcome, higher energy. Thanks for joining. XRP has been too quiet too long. Something brewing. My man. Welcome to the fam. Higher energy. And you're right, guys. There has to be something on the way. Has been moving sideways for way too long, right? It's not even possible that it is not time for XRP to take off. Everything else has been up and down. XRP is the lone wolf in crypto that has not had an explosion. And when it starts running, it's going to keep running. And people are going to be home alone face shocked. Clarity, as it's written now, is definitely anti-retail. Of course it is. Guys, I'm telling you, like I've been telling you, they want us out of crypto, right? They want to take it over so they can resell our crypto back to us at higher prices. We got in early and we beat the system, and the system doesn't like that. As the system has been trying to slow down XRP, next move is they're trying to take out us, right? They want retail out so they can resell it and keep pushing. You're dreaming. Glenn, definitely a dreamer, bro. But you got to have dreams to keep moving, right? Dreams turn into reality. I need you to watch the video on astroplaning, my guy. Keeping it moving. Back to the video.
Stablecoin yield restrictions and a proposal to ban using Bitcoin or even XRP to pay taxes. That last one is designed to force every senator to take a public position. Are you on the side of crypto or are you on the side of the banks? Warren framed, get this, because just when you thought, her 40 amendments, it would have stopped there. She framed her opposition around Trump's crypto conflicts of interest. The crypto's industry response here, it was pretty direct, right? Her real goal is protecting traditional banks from competing with decentralized financial infrastructure. And the White House's own crypto advisor, Patrick Witt, folks, his response, epic, I think that's a good word. He says, I'm so impressed that Elizabeth Warren stayed up all night to read the 300 plus pages of the Clarity Act and deliver an objective assessment of the bill's merits and not just knee-jerk reaction. This is what true public service looks like. Folks, the sarcasm there's thick now, isn't it? But the point underneath it all is real. The markup vote is still happening Thursday, right? She's not stopping anything. The bill is still moving. Warren's amendments, remember, they're just obstacles. They're not a veto. The Clarity Act is advancing in the institutional infrastructure around XRP. It is being built regardless of what happens in any single committee vote, which gets us over to what's going on with the BIS, folks, in Japan. Let's kick it off in Japan. Why not? So we got Warren's busy filing amendments in Washington. Well, Japan just did something that changes XRP's legal status in one of the most important financial markets in the world. Japan's cabinet approved a landmark amendment to the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act The FIA, FIEA. Look.
Patience, young Padawan. Patience. Colin King-Alo. King-Alo? Patience, brother. Patience. It might take years, but you'll have your Lambo. And at this rate, you can get whatever you want. We can get a custom Lambo if you want it, but be patient, guys. It's not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes. And it is a slow rise to the top, bro. You got to take the stairs. Oh gosh, we got another Jake in the house. Yeah, right. Ain't that right, Tammy? Just more and more drama.
It up. On April 10th, FIA is Japan's primary security laws, right? It governs your stocks, your bonds, and your traditional financial instruments. Up until now, XRP was regulated under the Payments Service Act, and it was treated as a digital payment method, essentially the same category as, say, a digital version of PayPal. We know it shouldn't be considered as a digital version of PayPal, right? Had the wrong classification on it. Well, that all changes now because XRP, alongside Bitcoin, Ethereum, and over 102 other tokens listed on the registered Japanese exchanges, they are now legally reclassified as financial instruments on par with your stocks and bonds. Let me tell you what this classification means, okay? Insider trading prohibitions here, they are now applied to XRP transactions in Japan. A rule that has really been applied to crypto markets at scale globally. Enhanced disclosure requirements kick in for companies that are handling XRP, which they're following the same standards, pretty much similar to security firms, right? Exchange platforms are being renamed from crypto asset operators to crypto asset trading operators, reflecting their new status as regulated financial intermediaries. And here's the tax change that will get retail investors' attention. Japan is introducing a flat 20% capital gains tax on crypto, down from the current progressive rate that could go as high as 55%. Could you imagine cashing out your crypto gain tax 55%? There's no way. I'm complaining about 20%. 55? You imagine your goal is to make a mil, you get hit with a 55% tax? Sheesh, you really need to make like 2 mil. That's wild. Now, let's talk about, so we got Japan moving XRP from the payment shelf to the investment shelf. But at the same time, this is where it gets pretty interesting because the BIS, okay, this story made me scratch my head and really sit back and think about it. Now, I want to be clear before we jump into it. I'm not claiming that this is coordinated, but I am going to lay out the facts and let you decide what to make of them. And let me know in the comments below what you think here. Very interested. May 12th, the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements, as you know them, the central bank of central banks, they announced 4 new committee governors. Every single one of them has a documented public Ripple connection. Fabio Panetti, we'll start at the top, we'll make our way down, why not? Bank of Italy, Italy's largest bank. Intesa Sanpaolo, they deployed Ripple custody. Next one up, Gabriel Galapo, Central Bank of Brazil. Ripple's applying for a vast license in Brazil. Remember that? Brazil Bank uses Ripple payments, and they issued the BBRL stablecoin directly on the XRP ledger with XRP bridging. How about Michael Bullock from the Reserve Bank of Australia? What's Ripple doing over there, folks? Is Ripple securing an AFSL license in Australia? And are they active in the RBA-led project for digital asset infrastructure? I think so. And then we got Kazo Yuda from the Bank of Japan. Now, I wonder what connections Ripple got over there. Perhaps a long-term SBI Ripple connection, Asia partner. We just covered it. XRP is now being reclassified as a financial instrument under the FIA. And how about XRP blockchain rewards are in the market? How about Rakuten getting involved with XRP? So look, we got 4 new BIS governors, okay? 4 separate central banks, 4 separate continents, all with documented operational Ripple relationships already in place. The BIS coordinates global monetary policy, cross-border payment standards, and your financial stability frameworks for the entire world. The people now sitting in the committee chairs are the people who've been building and working and have built relationships with Ripple in their home markets. Coincidence? Maybe. But the pattern is there and is documented. Comment down below. What do you think? I want to know. Do you think this is a coincidence, or do you think things are lining up for bigger and better things to come? Which brings us over here. SWIFT, Ripple, BIS, and MasterCard. Let's talk about it. The pie task force. That's right. No, not the pie you want to eat. Not the math pie, but the pie. So this is where we're going to connect the BIS story directly to your operational payment infrastructure. So the BIS, let's talk about them real quick, okay? They have a cross-border payments interoperability and extensions task force. It's called the PI task force. It has been active since Q4 of 2025. So fairly recent it's been active, right? Its objective is simple. They want to improve access to payment systems and tackling your cross-border efficiencies. The members of the PI task force, guess who? SWIFT, Ripple, MasterCard, to name a few. Now, SWIFT, they have been the dominant global interbank messaging standard for 50 plus years. For most of that time, it and Ripple, right, they were positioned as competitors. It was always the old system versus the new rails. That framing, it's now obsolete. They are sitting in the same BIS task force, working towards the same objective, coordinated at the international central banking level. This is what convergence of legacy financial infrastructure and blockchain settlement actually look like in practice. Not a press release, not a partnership announcement, a working group inside the Bank for International Settlements, operational since Q4 of 2025, with SWIFT and Ripple at the same table alongside MasterCard. The narrative that crypto and TradeFi are competing, it's over. They are merging. And Ripple, guess what? They're inside that room where that merger is being designed. This is big time. And let's not forget, Ripple, MasterCard, Ando, and JP Morgan just pulled off one of the most bullish, one of the most viral, one of the biggest things to ever hit crypto with a U.S. Treasury. I believe it was U.S. Treasury. Was it a money market or was it a Treasury bill? One of the two, settling on the XRP ledger and paying out in a matter of 5 seconds into Ripple's bank account. Things are getting spicy, folks. That's all I know. Now, here's the my honest summary of where I stand and where things stand, right? Where things stand currently, where they're going. Elizabeth Warren, she filed 40 amendments. She got allies in the Senate, but the Clarity Act, it will face more negotiations before final passage. That is real and it should not be minimized. We know that's coming. But here is what is also real, and this is important, okay? Japan. They reclassified XRP as a financial instrument. Regardless of what Warren does, the BIS appointed 4 Ripple-connected governors, regardless of what Warren does. SWIFT and Ripple are in the same BIS payment task force, regardless of what Warren does. Ripple Prime is registered in all 53 U.S. states. The OCC approved Ripple's bank charter application. Kraken already has a FedMaster account. The infrastructure is being built at the international central banking level and Asia's largest financial market. Inside the most important cross-border payments coordination body in the world. Senate amendments, sorry, Elizabeth, it does not stop any of this. Warren is fighting the tide. Guess what? The tide doesn't care. Think about that, everyone. So while you got Elizabeth Warren, who filed 40 amendments to the Clarity Act, including taking a direct shot at Ripple's FedMaster accounts, the White House crypto advisor responded with pointed sarcasm and that the markup vote is still happening on Thursday. Japan has now classified XRP as a financial instrument on par, legally on par now, with stocks and bonds, with a flat 20% tax rate and insider trading rules now in place. The BIS, they appointed 4 new governors on May 12th, every single one with a documented operational Ripple relationship in the home market. And Swift, Ripple, and MasterCard, they're sitting in the same BIS cross-border payments task force, which been operational since Q4 of 2025. The opposition is real. The infrastructure being built around it, it is even bigger. Drop a comment. Do you think
So shout out to who is this guy? Bullwinkle for those updates, and thanks for joining. But we are getting close to shutting it down. So this was a lot of good information. Looking for the outro now. So let me see. Why is this not coming up? Okay, here we go. Actually, yeah. So here's the final verdict. XRP has a real bullish setup. ETF inflows hitting 28.5 billion is just a strong headline. The symmetric triangle breakout setup gets traders reason to watch the $2 to $4 zone. Japan and SBI remain one of XRP's strongest real-world utility narratives, but claim that all Japanese banks are using XRP is not confirmed. So don't let that rumor turn into reckless trading. XRP might be setting up for something big, but when you confirmation, volume, and facts, drop your XRP price target in the comments. Are you team $2, $4, or wake me up when XRP pays my house off? Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and share this with one XRP holder who needs facts with their hopium. So thanks for joining. And as always, it's your main man, BTM, signing out. Going to do a turbo update later, probably a Zibek this afternoon. But thanks for joining. And as always, guys, let's get back to the money and stay dangerous. Peace and hair grease. Miners out.